We have all experienced disrespect at some point in our lives. A violation of confidence, a sarcastic comment, or a violated promise. Doesn't that hurt? And the natural reaction when someone crosses that boundary is to protect yourself, to let them know that they've gone too far. The catch is that's just what they anticipate. They anticipate the outburst, the disputes, the pain, and the rage. It boosts their self-esteem, gives them a sense of importance, and gives them the ability to irritate you. But what if you fail to provide them with that level of fulfillment? What if you decide to remain silent rather than respond? Being silent is more than just not saying anything. It's a strong reaction in and of itself. Remaining composed in the face of contempt conveys a stronger message than any debate. I'm above this, it tells them. This game is not necessary for me to play. It's an intentional decision to remain silent, maintain your dignity, and avoid conflict. That's what makes it so beautiful. You take charge when you decide to remain silent. You derail their expectations, leaving them uneasy, curious, and wondering. Your calm begins to do its magic during those peaceful times. It makes them face themselves, fight with their own behavior, and feel the consequences of their actions. That quiet, it's strong. It's the kind of strength that can have an effect without shouting. Silence is a source of great strength, as Lao Tzu once stated. Therefore, keep in mind that sometimes the most effective response is to say nothing at all the next time someone attempts to tear you down. When someone is disrespectful to you, they expect chaos. They want to see the holes in your armor. They're looking for an answer. A sign that they've got your emotions under control. But silence, they are utterly bewildered by silence. It's the one action they can't predict and the one response they can't control. There is nothing feeble about this. The idea is not to run away or avoid the situation. It's about putting peace above conflict and self-respect above pettiness. By staying silent, you are communicating to them that their actions or words do not define you. Instead, you're controlling the narrative. You're saying, your disrespect doesn't deserve my energy without saying a word. Think about this, words can cause fights, but quiet makes them mute. Since it is a mirror, they are forced to look inward and analyze their actions. In that stillness, they start to feel the anxiety they were trying to pass on to you. As the saying goes, there are times when it's better to keep quiet than to explain yourself to someone who doesn't want to understand. The worst thing is that silence affects you as much as them. As long as you don't speak, you keep your power. You avoid unnecessary turmoil that only depletes your energy. You stay focused on your own strength and rise above the noise. Avoidance is not intelligence. In this game of life, silence is a move they didn't expect. It's your secret weapon. While they're left stunned and trying to understand your quiet confidence, you've already gone on. My friend, that's where true power lies. Silence in response to disrespect does something unexpected for them and lets them think for themselves. And believe me, it has far greater impact than anything you could say. Disrespectful people frequently enjoy disagreement because they enjoy the drama and the emotional outburst. You're quiet. They lose that fuel as a result. They begin again, reliving the scene in an attempt to ascertain your thoughts. Did you not give a damn? Do you have any plans? Have you fully moved on? In the minds of life, it becomes deafening, an unsolved question they are unable to get rid of. The weight of their contempt starts to weigh them down during those silent times when they're lying awake at night reflecting on what they did. They are forced to face their own insecurities, mistakes, and pride when they remain silent. Silence is a true friend who never betrays, as Confucius once stated. And it's your best ally in this situation. The good news is that you are free while others are caught in a vicious cycle of self-doubt. You're not mired in the past, ruminating on their actions or the harm they caused you. Your quiet demonstrates that you were not broken by what they did. Rather, it demonstrates to them that you have made the decision to put your peace, development, and future first. They undervalued you. It's evidenced by every second they spend wondering and every night they lose to regret. The finest part is that there is nothing you need to say or do. You'll get the job done by their own guilt. Guilt is perhaps the most painful companion to Death Chanel Coco. Allow them to carry that shame with them. You've given them silence, let them sit with it. Because you're already miles ahead, living in the freedom that comes with not caring about their disrespect. While they're stuck trying to make sense of it all, being silent is a statement of control, not only a response. You are demonstrating that you, not your emotions, are in control when you decide not to react. You're completely changing the balance of power. The individual who treated you disrespectfully anticipates that you would act rashly, lose your composure, and allow them to control your emotions. However, you deprive them of that control if you remain mute. Consider stillness to be a serene, impregnable stronghold. They can't get past that, no matter how hard they attempt to agitate you. At that point, individuals begin to feel helpless. They believe they were in charge. But your silence shows that they never had any authority over you in the first place. The best retaliation is not to be like your enemy Marcus Aurelius famously remarked. That is the ultimate move, isn't it? You would demonstrate that you are stronger, wiser, and far above the games they are attempting to play by refusing to play on their level. Not only does silence preserve your tranquility, it completely upends their reality. They must face their own inadequacies while they are occupied in figuring you out. You offered in silence when they were expecting noise. And that silence, it's noisy. It keeps repeating in their head, causing them to doubt all of their decisions and presumptions. The best thing is that you safeguard your energy when you keep quiet. You're not squandering it on pointless debates. You're not allowing them to pull you into a downward spiral. Rather, you're the rapper spiral. Rather, your energy into your objectives, development, and contentment. And for someone who has treated you disrespectfully, nothing is more disturbing than witnessing your success without them. You are introduced by your energy before you even say a word. You make it obvious that you are in charge by being silent. I don't care. This is not me. What about that control? It is the reason you are untouchable.l. The word revenge is frequently associated with rage and the desire for vengeance. But what if I told you that anger itself isn't the most effective form of retaliation? It's development. It's advancing with greater strength and determination than before. Not giving the person who treated you disdain a second consideration. As you can see, retaliation need not be ostentatious or spectacular. Living a good life is sometimes the finest kind of retaliation. By investing in yourself, your objectives, your future, and your peace of mind, you do demonstrate to them that their acts did not break you. They actually took the opposite action. They provided you with fuel to create something even more amazing. They say that the best form of retaliation is success. It's also true. To flourish in the wake of contempt is the best way to respond to it. And you are reminded that they have no control over your life by every success, happy event, and step you take to become the best version of yourself. The problem is that this progress isn't about them. It concerns you. It all comes down to deciding to concentrate on what really counts. You can release yourself from the burden of their contempt by shifting your energies inside, stepping away from the negativity. You get over it. Allow them to observe from a distance. Allow them to ponder how you're thriving in their absence and how you were able to move on so swiftly and thoroughly. That's the appeal of prioritizing development over revenge. You're out there creating a future they won't be a part of. while they're trapped in the past, repeating their mistakes. And when they witness your success, it will strike them then. You became unstoppable as a result of the disdain they showed you, not weaker. Stop wasting your time attempting to influence people's opinions. Regardless of whether people approve or not, do what you want to do. Tina Fey. By concentrating on your own development, you're transforming their negativity into something positive rather than merely letting it go. You win that way. By rising so much above it that they can no longer even get to you, rather than by lowering yourself to their level. How silence haunts the offender. The problem with silence is that it persists. Long after the incident has passed, the person who mistreated you still feels the effects. They may have anticipated a dispute or conflict, but your quiet only gives them their own thoughts, which is far worse. People that treat you disrespectfully frequently do so out of conceit or impulsive behavior. They anticipate a response because they believe it will provide them with closure or justify their behavior. However, when you don't provide them with that, all they have left are questions, and those questions keep coming back to them. They will reenact the event, analyzing each word they spoke, speculating about your thoughts, and doubting themselves. The weight of their actions begins to drag them down during those calm, restless nights. Their shame, sorrow, and guilt are magnified by your silence, which turns become their worst critic. One of the great arts of conversation is silent Cicero. Marcus Tullius. Silence forces them to examine their own shortcomings by acting as a mirror to their behavior. And what's worse for them, they are unable to fix it. They cannot argue their way back into your favor or apologize their way out of it since you have decided not to participate. Silence gains real power at this point. It alters the storyline in addition to making people uneasy. All of a sudden, they are the ones on the defensive, curious about your plans, thoughts, and when the other shoe will drop. They believe they were ahead, but your serene assurance dramatically reverses the situation. How about you? You don't need to do anything at all. The work will be done for you by their own fears and guilt. You're free to move on, to prosper, to create a life so rich and satisfying that their disdain fades into the background while they're caught in that cycle of regret and uncertainty. The guilty believe everything that is said is about them, Geoffrey Chaucer. Allow them to bear that shame. Allow your silence to serve as a haunting reminder of their past behavior and the repercussions of their choices. Because ultimately, remaining silent is a reckoning as much as a response. The strength of choosing silence. Being silent is not merely a reaction, it is a brave and conscious decision to put peace above confrontation. It's about understanding that not all conflicts are worthwhile, and that self-control, not retribution, is the genuine test of strength. Silence conveys the message, I don't need to prove myself to anyone. You don't allow their behavior to define you or determine your reaction. And you take back your power in that instant. You demonstrate to them that you're unfazed and that their disrespect isn't as serious as they believed. The world frequently exalts sound, but quiet? The value of silence is underestimated. It's understated but effective. It is heard even though it doesn't shout. And what's most amazing, without saying a word, silence has the power to convey a lot. Speak only if it improves upon the silence, Mahatma Gandhi. By remaining quiet, you safeguard your energy. You stay clear of being dragged into a storm that will only exhaust you. Rather, you rise above them and let them face the consequences of their conduct. Your quiet serves as a reminder that you, not them, their words, or their actions, are in charge. The beauty of silence is that it not only sets you free, but it also changes you. It transforms disrespect into resiliency and suffering into strength. It helps you become so self-assured and grounded that you are no longer affected by what they do. Ultimately, keeping quiet isn't about absolving them. It's about making your own decision about realizing how precious your time and effort are and not wasting them on someone who doesn't value them. And that insight, it is the final triumph. Remember this the next time someone treats you disrespectfully, you don't have to respond to show your value. Allow your silence to do the talking. Make it the loudest, most powerful reaction they'll ever have. Because you'll be out there living, prospering, and rising above it all, while they're locked in the past, reliving their mistakes. Silence is the ultimate weapon of power, Charles Gall. They will remember the strength you display by remaining silent, not the words you chose not to utter.